started. So welcome back to another 7 Ways to Wealth Masterclass. It is such a pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today. I'm super excited. She is a friend of mine. Yay! I get all these cool friends, guys, and then I just bring them on here to talk to you guys. So I don't know, I'm just super excited. So her name is Bryn Drescher, and she is a mental performance coach, guys. So she's on another level, okay? She has worked with athletes, like the athletes that we see on TV, right? The basketball players, the NFL players, the ones that hit all the balls and stuff. She also works with high level business people, business owners. She has a podcast. It's called the Mental Advantage Podcast. So this woman is absolutely phenomenal, and she's going to be teaching us how to master our mindset. So I'm super duper duper excited because we all need this. Everyone knows that, like, your mind is number one, okay? Your mind is what tells your heart to beat, okay? So if you don't have that in order, you're not living right. So it is my pleasure to introduce Bryn. Bryn, you have the floor. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. And it's always an honor any chance I get a chance to come and bless other people as I've been blessed or, gifted, however you want to say it. And so thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. So without further ado, I want to address a few things that I've noticed right off the top. First of all, kudos for you guys already getting, and I like a lot of participation. So if you can keep your camera on, I'd love that. If you've got a pen, paper, I love note takers. I know the note takers are money makers, Neo thing, but it's not note takers or money makers, it's action takers or money makers, okay? So it doesn't matter if you take notes, it's more what you do with those notes, because how many of us would be willing to admit we got a notebook full of notes that we ain't never looked back at, okay? So sometimes we got notes, but it ain't one, it's not that we, I wrote them down, okay? So if you can keep your camera on, that's great. If you can't, totally understand. If you're driving, obviously keep your eyes on the road and all that, okay? So, one thing that I want to acknowledge is the wins, okay? One of the things I say is that I help entrepreneurs and athletes win more and make more money, okay? Now, wins. Wins are always so interesting in the world of performance when it comes to business or sports, right? Because wins are always usually scoreboard wins, right? Like the big ones, right? Everybody wants to talk about the big wins. Did we win the championship? I mean, Kobe's famously quoted as saying, why should I be happy? The job's not done yet. Which I'm sorry, no disrespect to the GOAT of mindset from sports, but I respectfully disagree, Senor Kobe Bryant, okay? Because we need to celebrate our wins along the way, not just the end wins, because this is why you're burning out. Write this down. If I don't celebrate my wins, I won't be at the finish line. It won't matter. I'm not going to make it, okay? So if you want to know why you're getting discouraged, you want to know why you're getting deterred, and defeated and all of that along the way, is because you believe, you've been taught, you've been fed this lie that the only time you're allowed to celebrate is when you have a win, a big win, a scoreboard win, okay? And one of the things that I teach my athletes is skill over scoreboard. Skill over scoreboard. You did not come for the trophy. The trophy is what got you into it. But what the competition will reveal is your magic and your majesty, okay? And that's what gets revealed through the process of competing. So if you don't learn how to celebrate the basket in the first quarter, it won't matter. And sometimes it always comes down to that last second shot. Did you make the last second shot? Did you not make the last second shot? But you can't wipe out 48 minutes of basketball or whatever sport you're watching and say, man, those guys suck. They didn't make that last minute thing. They could have played an excellent game up to that. But we as couch quarterbacks, right? Monday morning quarterbacks, we want to be like, well, they should have won, right? Though we played not 1 second of that game. Okay. So know that when you are in the throes of your business, the most important thing is to take care of your number one asset. What's your number one asset in your business? What's your number one asset in your business? That's right. You, not your mind, Bruce. Yes, your mind is part of it, Bruce, but you, the whole of you, right? Because we can't be distilled down to just a mindset. And we've all heard mindset is everything. People say it all the time. It's become so cliche, but I don't think people really understand mindset, but we'll get to that in a second. So I want you to think of wins as like the big green signs. Okay. Now, what is a big green sign? How many of you have been on a road trip? Just put a 1 in the chat if you've been on a road trip. You have been on a road trip. Now, she says she's in Florida. So if we talking about driving from Orlando to Miami, we going on a road trip. There's a lot of big green signs between Orlando and Miami, whichever direction you're going, okay? Now, I like the sign that tells me it's 328 miles to Miami, okay? I like that sign because that lets me know, okay, relatively how long I got to go. Now, the thing about it is, there are 328 mile markers between Orlando and Miami, but nobody is celebrating the mile markers. They're only celebrating the big green signs. Ooh, it says 256 now. You passed a ton of mile markers and opportunities to celebrate, okay, along the way. So when we talk about mastering your mindset, you have to define, write this down, I define my own wins. I define my own wins. Stop listening to all of these gurus. Yes, I'm talking about the circle of CEOs. I'm talking about all the people. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about them in the sense that you ain't did nothing today. Then you didn't do, no. This is fine and it's great for motivation, but I'm sorry. You cannot get stuck on this like you ain't do nothing today. What you got to show for it? What's the scoreboard show today? Did you make any money? Then you didn't do nothing today. False. False. Okay? Because you learned something today. You took away a skill. You learned how not to do something. Something was developed and born in you in that process. And so if you are not celebrating all of your wins, and that's what I do, I teach my clients to call like crows. I don't know a more confident and cocky bird than a crow. Okay. You ever seen a crow land? It's puffing its chest. It's going around like, yo, get out of here. This is my territory. Okay. I was watching a crow the other day. He landed. He got all these little birds. He was just like, y'all get out of here. Okay, this is my area. Okay. All right. He just let them know I'm in the place. So I want you to celebrate all wins, especially, write this down, the small wins. Because the small wins are what keep you in the game. The brain is wired for pleasure, right? It's wired for pleasure, dopamine, serotonin, all these hits, right? But if you don't give it something along the way, it's not going to stay in the fight. It's going, this is why you get disinterested. You get bored. You do the stop starting. Where are my stop starting entrepreneurs? Who's willing to admit yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, can we mute Sophia? Hey, Sophia, I don't know if you know you're unmuted. Okay. So yes, along the way, a lot of people, this is why you're stop starting, because you're looking for a big win and that's not keeping you in it. But you had a lot of wins, but you didn't acknowledge your progress in the process, right? I ran a marathon. A marathon is how many miles? Does anybody know? Does anybody know how long a marathon is? It's
26.2 or 26.1.
It's 26.2. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Both Vernon and Bruce, because I know you were going to say that, Vernon. He's just a little faster on the mute button. And since I work in sports, technically that's called second place. So, so technically, but you still win because you weighed in, and that's what's up. So, but yes, it's 26.2 miles. Now, I had an end goal of 4 hours and, oh Lord, I done forgot, 26 minutes or something, 4 hours and 20 minutes. I think it was 4 hours and 20 minutes. And I just knew my end goal. I was going to run for 4 hours and 20 minutes. I had the pace down. I had all that. Y'all, I had no 5-mile goal. I had no 10-mile goal. I had 26.2 miles and 4 hours and 20 minutes between my goal and the finish line. Did I make my goal? Y'all tell me, did I make my goal?
I'm going to give you credit. You got it under 5 hours. I'm going to give you.
Oh, that's so nice of you, Bruce. Wrong. I did not make my goal.
Damn.
I did not make my goal. Did I finish the marathon? Heck yeah. I don't start and I don't not finish. Okay. But I died because I was feeling good in the beginning. I didn't know where I was supposed to be at 5 miles. I didn't know where I was supposed to be at 10 miles. I just knew where I was supposed to be at 26.2 miles. But if there was no celebration, no metric, no opportunity to look and gauge my performance, to pivot, to do anything at any point in my race plan, it is no surprise that I finished 1 hour after my initial goal. So I finished in 5 hours and 20 minutes, not 4, okay? Not 4 hours and 20 minutes, because I did not have a proper race plan. So this is why you have to have built in the small wins on the process to the finish line. Otherwise, this is why you aren't making it to the finish line. You are biologically not helping yourself to get there. Your brain is working against you at that point. It's like, why are we still doing this? This is painful. Stop. Please stop. This is terrible. Don't continue. We're not going to make it. And eventually we will succumb. We will listen. We will acquiesce because we haven't trained ourselves. And yeah, there's plenty of people that fight through that pain and they do whatever and they still get there and they make their goals, but it can be a very unpleasant process. I want you to have more fun on the way to the big green signs. Okay. And so that is part of it. Is if you do nothing else, you take nothing else from what I say today, just start to define your own wins and then celebrate them and stop using other people's race plans to get to your goal. Okay. I don't care how much they've made. I don't care how successful they are. Their way is not necessarily the best way for you. Okay. You wouldn't wear my shoes, so don't use my plan. Okay. My clothes are for me. Your clothes are for you. My life is for me. Your life is for you. Yes, they are there. You know, this is why I get a little incensed about, like, obviously working with athletes, right? I working with athletes. A lot of people like to wear athletes' names on their back. I don't want you to wear anyone else's name on the back of your jersey. I don't care who it is. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Serena Williams. They're all wonderful people, but they're not you. They haven't met you yet. And you haven't met you yet. So you need to have your name on the back of your own jersey. Okay? I think they're great. I love Kobe. Kobe is the GOAT of mindset of sports. You can't find me anybody that I love more than Kobe when it comes to mindset. I was a Kobe hater. I'm just going to admit that right now because I'm from Chicago. Okay? And you know who my favorite basketball player of all time is. We don't even need to have this discussion. Okay? Now, I'm not getting into it who's better because actually I don't think Kobe would exist if there wasn't a Jordan. I don't think Jordan would exist if there wasn't a Dr. J. I don't think, you know, and going on to Bill Russell, all that. So don't even get into the whole who's better. I'm like, different generations. One begat the other, like the Bible. That's the part that I stopped, by the way, because I didn't have any wins in the Bible either. So I was like, begat. They got me. I'm done. I'm done with the Bible. This is too much. I don't care about the genealogy. If anyone else got caught up on the genealogy, just can I get an amen? Okay. I was like, I'm going to read it cover to cover.
Amen.
Amen. Exactly. As soon as they started talking about begat, I was like, I do not care about this. This is too much. But yeah, so skip over the genealogy. You got a better chance of making it to the end. Okay. I know begats. Come on. Like, I don't care about the begatting. So anyway, but you know, not saying anything about the Bible. Okay. I think the Bible is an amazing book, regardless of its own spiritual, religious context. I think it's amazing. It's got so much magic in it. It's the best mindset book that was ever written. I'm going to say it again. The Bible is the best mindset book that was ever written. Okay. And, you know, my clients, I break it down for you so we can talk about that. Okay. Now that we got the wins out of the way, now you know you need to celebrate your wins. You need to celebrate your small wins. You need to break your tasks into bite-sized things. Every day when you lay your head on the pillow, we do something called reviewing the game film. Okay, now, everybody who's ever been an athlete, where are my athletes? Put a 1 in the chat if you were a former athlete. Go ahead. Where are you? My athletes. Okay, Bruce, what'd you play?
Play basketball.
Okay, basketball. You were looking pretty tall. So what was center or forward?
I was power forward.
Power forward, okay. Vernon, what'd you play? Oh, you didn't put a 1.
I played football and I ran track.
Okay, football and track. I was a track fan, so I'm a sprinter. 200, 400 out here in these streets. All right, I know. Bruce, we know you don't want to run. You say you were a basketball player. Those 84 feet was too much for you. We already know. He's like, just give me the ball and I'm gonna put it in that bucket. I already know. Okay, 800. The 800. That's not. Okay, now you know you're not a sprinter if you talk about the 800. Okay, because we don't like the 800. Okay, we're like the 400 is long distance for us in the sprints. Okay, it's like this 100, 200. And then you got the 400. That's where sprinting really stops. Middle distance is the 400 and the 800 and the 1500. And then long distance is your 2 mile and your 3 mile and so on and so forth. All right. But yeah, absolutely. The 800 is no joke. All right. So, oh, dabbled in volleyball. Okay, she said dabbled. That means that she was on the team, what, 1 year? Wait, what happened? What happened? Yeah, okay, I was gonna say, she wasn't no real athlete. She was out there like, this is fun. Oh, they want me to do work? Oh, no, I don't want to do all that. Okay, so yeah, I was like, when she said dabbled, I was like, not a real athlete. All right. All right, that's not nice. That's not nice. You're right. That was judgment. I felt it. I felt it. I felt it. And I still stand by it. So the point is the important thing is, right, I love to make people laugh. So hopefully you guys are okay with laughing. Laughter is good for the mindset. If you don't laugh every day, especially at who do you need to laugh at the most? Who do you need? Yes, you need to stop taking yourself so gosh down. Seriously, you aren't messing up the world. Your business is not that important. Yes, I know you're changing lives, you're saving lives, but you're not ruining it for anyone else, okay? You're just ruining it for you. But even so, you're creating your own suffering, okay? All suffering is self-created. Write that down. All suffering is self-created. It's all you. You're the one. You're the one that makes the rules, and you're your jailer. You're everything. You're basically creating your very own daytime soap drama, okay? And you're playing all the parts. I hope you're enjoying it. Okay? So yes, I don't know if I did, Bruce, because I don't read that, but I'm sure I did, because there's a lot of magic in all of it, right? It's like, did you just quote? I'm like, yeah, sure, I did. Sure, I read it in a former life. So now, what's important is that you understand all suffering is self-created, but I want to talk about a couple of other things. So we said win more. So we talked about the wins, we got that down, we're going to celebrate our wins. The other thing, the second part of my offer is I help you make more money, okay? Now, all of you want to make more money, right? I don't need to ask. I don't need that. You wouldn't be here. It's not called 7 Ways to Poverty. It's not called 7 Ways to the Grocery Store. It's called 7 Ways to Wealth, okay? So there's no accident that all of you are here. And if it was called something else that had anything to do where there was money at the end, we're all listening. Oh yeah, I want to hear, because nobody's out here like, yes, I want to sign up only for personal development. I only care about personal development. I don't care about the green stuff, okay? Unfortunately, the green stuff has power in our world, and we have become all seduced by it, okay? But money, write this down, is only energy. Money is only energy, okay? So the reason you don't have it is because you are not paying attention to your energy. And I want you to write this. I promise, right? Put your hand up. Everybody put your hand up. Right, left, I don't care. We're not going to be in a court of law here. So whichever hand feels right to you, okay? I promise, I solemnly swear, you can say this out loud. You don't have to do it off mute. You can do it in your house. To take money off of a pedestal. I promise, I solemnly swear to take money off of its pedestal, okay, in my life. Okay, it's important because the only power in your life is you. The money is just a byproduct of what you think about you. So when people talk about self-love, everybody, thinks about self-care. Oh, I need self-care, right? I know I've been burning myself out. It's so important that I take care of myself, because if I don't take care of me, there won't be a business, all that fun stuff, right? We've all said it, we've all thought it. But did you know that the reason you don't have money is because you don't love yourself enough? What? That can't be possible. Wait, lots of people have money that don't love themselves. This is true. We are so powerful, we can manifest through a thimble, right? We can manifest through a thimble. But what if the love of yourself, if just loving yourself, like really seeing yourself as the majesty, the magic that you are, was the only thing that was the block between you and everything you want? You want a relationship? Love yourself. You want more money? Love yourself. You want more happiness? Love yourself. You want more business? Love yourself. You want more clients? Love yourself. But that can't be it. It can't be that simple. You're supposed to be talking about mindset, Bryn. Well, what am I going to say that you haven't heard, that you can't repeat back to me 1,000 times because you think you know it all? You guys all should be driving Kias. The know-it-alls, right? I don't heard all that. Write this down. This is one of the most powerful things that I say in my challenge that people write down. To know and not to do is not to know. You don't know it, you just know of it. You know about it. You know around it. You have heard it. Are you practicing it? And this is equal for all of us. I stand before you, one of my favorite gospel songs is in speak over yourself, encourage yourself, okay? And it says, as I minister to you, I minister to myself. You're only talking to you ever. You're only talking to you ever. You think that the reason you don't have money, you don't have is because people don't know you. You think the reason you don't have more business is because you haven't gotten your marketing out there. It's because you just haven't gotten the right breaks. You haven't gotten in the right rooms. No, you don't believe you deserve to be in those rooms. You don't believe or love yourself enough to see that you can go in. There is no room, there is no door, there is no house that you can't be in. There is no hierarchy. We were not born in a system of hierarchy. The world has a system of hierarchy, but you yourself were not born to be in some sort of hierarchy. Black people like to use these terms. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I was raised by a white woman, so I didn't use a lot of kings and queens language coming up, right? Like, hey, king, how you doing, queen? Yeah, that wasn't happening in my house, okay? I didn't know anything about that. I have become obviously aware of it now, but I'm just saying, Black people talk about kings and queens, and we're descended from these great people in Africa and all of that, right? But what does it really mean to be royalty? What does it mean to be royalty? Tell me, somebody tell me, just unmute. What is an attribute of royalty?
They take care of their people.
You think that's their primary concern? You think that's what Queen Elizabeth went to sleep every night thinking about her kingdom?
That's a dictator. That's not the same.
Oh, Queen Elizabeth was a dictator. Okay, see, everybody got these interesting things because they know Queen Elizabeth, like they know her, but it's okay. Okay, they talked about her service. They talked about a lot about her service, right? She cared about the people of her realm. But come on now, that's a nice one, Bruce. I like it that you think that the kings and the queens care about the people. But let's talk about what we really like. What do we care about royalty? Like, why do we want to be royalty? Are we thinking about, how can I take care of the kingdom? I'm out here in Los Angeles. How can I take care of the loyal subjects of Los Angeles? Is that what I'm thinking about? Why do we want to be royalty? Come on, tell me the truth. Somebody who's willing to just claim what they really want about royalty. Anyone? Or you guys all just want to take care of people? That's it?
Not letting anything get in your way, like laser focus.
That's right. Nothing gets in your way, because who would even dare walk in your path, Michelle? You're the king. You're the queen. Who's gonna fall and walk in front of the queen?
Oh, what am I?
You know what I'm saying? That's good, Michelle. Good. All right, go ahead. I saw someone else unmute. What else?
I was thinking of leadership. Like, I guess people want to, follow you and flock to you and want to be you.
You love the magnetism of it, right? Like, everywhere. Like, look at this. Queen Elizabeth died. People who have never literally met her are crying, are feeling the loss of her life, regardless of your own political opinions and, conspiracy theories about the monarchy. People are affected by a king and a queen in a way that one can never really realize, right? And we see it with our celebrities, right? You're up here crying, ain't never met the person in the life, saw him in a movie, and was just like, I just feel like I knew him, right? So one, you're revered, you're adored, you're praised, almost like a deity in something, right? God saved the queen, God saved the king. It's the next in line to God. Like, it's God, then the king, right? And in some cases, same, right? All right. Does anybody here want like just the wealth? Does anybody here want the wealth of a monarchy? Do you think they worry about how they're gonna pay their bills? Or is it just me? Am I the only one that wants that kind of royalty? Does anybody want that kind of power? I'm not talking about dictator power. I'm just, okay, thank you, Zachariah, for being honest. You want the money? What about the power? What about you, Ashley? You want that power? You want that power just to be able to decree a thing and it happens? Huh, Ashley?
Yes.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know why y'all, money, power, and respect. That's right. Let's sing the song, Money, Power, and Respect. What do they say? I don't know the song. Sorry, guys. I'm not that hip. Okay. I know that it's money, power, respect. And then what he says after that, I lost it. Okay. Or she lost. It's her. Is it Eve? Who's saying that? Money, power, and respect. And then there's a line after that. I don't know what it is. Vernon, what did you say? I'm sorry. I cut you off.
No, I said money, power, respect.
Okay, right. That's why we want all of that. So like, even though it sounds nice to be able to run a kingdom and to be responsible for all the subjects, we really just like the money, power, and respect, right? This is why they have the quote, absolute power corrupts and power corrupts absolutely. How much time do I have, by the way? I should probably be looking at that. So tell me how much time I have.
A little less than 10 minutes.
Oh Lord, okay, gotta get quick. Okay, so the point is that I want you to recognize when you're talking about mastering your mindset, you have to recognize that I am the only power in my world. Write that down. I know. That might be a little counterintuitive to things, but I believe in the God in you. Okay, the God in you, not the God in the sky. Okay, so God put you here to experience life as Bruce, as Vernon, right? As Ashley, all of you. So I want you to get that, to recognize that you do have the power of a king, of a deity, of a monarch, because literally we all have our own reality. In my reality, I'm the king, I'm the queen, whatever. In your reality, you're the king, you're the queen. But as long as I'm on this call, you're all my subjects. And then in your calls and wherever you are, you're, like obviously when you're at the grocery store, it's kind of like, who saw WandaVision? Did anybody see WandaVision? Okay. In WandaVision, there's a really cool part where she's powering an entire town. But when she's focused on one part of the town, the other part of the town isn't moving. So like basically everyone exists for my pleasure. You guys ever heard I serve at the pleasure of the president? You ever heard that? Okay. So when you're talking about mastering your mindset, I want you to think, what if the world was my subject as my royalty, right? So what if I declare and decree that I am wealthy, and the subconscious mind, right, is all about repetition and emotion. If I say it enough, believe it enough, affirm, and only think about that and change any thoughts that come counter to that. So it's like, oh, is 7 Ways to Wealth ever gonna invite me to speak at their thing? Or could I be on the Circle of CEOs? That's so cool that Neo's up there. That's so cool. You cannot see, write this down. You cannot see in another what doesn't exist in you. So the fact that you see Neo and him 500 on the stage, it says in Buddhism and also in the Bible, right? Beware of false items. In Buddhism, it says never put anyone's head higher than yours. So it doesn't matter that they're on a stage. They are there to show you what you want. They are examples of what you want. They are not there to be above you. I do not care about their money and wealth has nothing to do with you. We are biologically wired to make more, to advance as a species. This is why you have animals going from, the squirrel to the flying squirrel to the bat to the bird, right? So if you, and talk about this in Science of Getting Rich, which we're reading in the morning meetup, but either way, without that example, it's just the whole point is that life is summoning you forth. It's asking for you to have increase. Money is only one part of it. So when you recognize that you hold the keys to the kingdom and you're the only person that's decided that you're a serf or a peasant in your own kingdom, there's a vacant throne in your world, by the way. And either money is sitting on it or you're sitting on it. Either that man or woman that you admire is sitting on that throne or you're sitting on the throne. So every time you have a limiting belief, I want you to ask yourself this question. Who am I making? Who or what am I making God? Or who am I putting on the throne? Or what am I putting on the throne? Am I putting the money on the throne? Am I putting this person that, I put in an offer on this house. I hope the realtor accepts it. If I say that, who am I putting on the throne? Who am I putting on the throne?
The realtor.
There you go. So I want you to think that, no, I get exactly what I want. So what would I need to affirm to remind myself who I am? So everything that you do, who you want to be, do, and have more comes from who you are. Who am I identifying as soon as I decide either they're my subject, and I know this sounds kind of a little scary for people who come from a world of slavery and masters, but I want you to think about it this way. God intended you to be the king. or the queen, if you want to genderize it, okay? But the monarch, the ruler of your world. And so anytime that happens, right? Anytime that happens that you decide that the realtor is God, the job, the boss is God, the industry, the economy. Oh, it's a recession, y'all. Who's God? Okay, now Bernanke and whoever the hell is the person that's doing that stuff now with the inflation and the interest rates. The stock market is God, right? The real estate market is God. The person I like, they're God. They're better than me. I hope they like me. They have no choice but to like you if you decide to love yourself above all others. Now, selfish has gotten a bad rap. I want you to be selfish. I need you to be selfish. There's a difference between self-centeredness and selfish, right? But just truly making putting yourself first. The oxygen mask thing, that's probably one of the most powerful mindset principles you will ever learn. Put it on you first, save you first, prioritize you first, because your whole world springs from your concept of you. So I'm asking you to love yourself first. I'm asking you to win, define your own wins, make your own rules, and stop playing someone else's game. I don't care if they're winning. You don't know what's going on in their world. They got their own video game. They got their own controller. You have to control your piece on the board, your avatar in the game. It's not about what's going on their side. Even if they seem like they're doing really great, the fact that you would even measure yourself by another man's stick means that you're limited in that sense. Kobe did what Kobe did, and then Kobe left. It's time for you to take the rock and do what you want to do, and not what, you can be inspired by another, because it says, write this down, if it's possible for them, it's possible for me. That's it. If it's possible for them, it's possible for me. They're here as lights to show you what's possible, not what they're a glimpse of. But if they're not employing this, like I always say, I don't care if you're LeBron James, Serena Williams, anyone, right? Look at Tom Brady. He's playing beyond the years that one plays professional football, right? Granted, he's a quarterback, right? But people say, well, he should be retired. He should. And LeBron's talking about he wants to play not only with Bronny, he wants to play with Bryce. And they're like, okay, dude, you're going to be like 43 years old when Bryce comes into the NBA. And if he decides that that's possible, then that's what's up. But why are you more concerned about what LeBron James, Bronny, or Bryce is going to do with their life? They have no bearing on your reality. It's entertainment. It's a distraction for you to decide your own limits. As soon as you start judging what LeBron wants, you've already put a cap on what's possible for you. Be somebody out here that says, who decided that 43 is done with professional basketball? Who decided that one should hang it up at a certain time? Who decided that young and attractive stops at 30? Who decided that 60 is old? Who decided that Black is a problem? Who decided? And you could say the white man, sure, but the only person keeping you down is you. If you make the rules, and remember, the king and the queen the world king and queen follow rules, but you make the rules. You decree a thing. You make it a thing. So I need you to make the rules where, how can you lose in a game where you make the rules? How are you losing in a game where you make the rules? How is that possible? So decide if you like the rules that you're abiding by. Well, they said it takes time. It does not take time to make money. Write that down. It does not take time to make money. The time between you and your goal is your belief. That's the distance. You want to know the distance between you and the goal? It's your belief. That's the distance. So the quicker you believe that it's possible to happen faster, it will. But as long as you believe, it takes time to make money. Who says? Who decided? Tell me. So this is what I want. I want you to recognize that it does not take time It takes you. And every moment that you got your eye on the prize, I want you to think about it as money is coming towards you. We have a very masculinized way of going about the world, which is hustle and grind, which is great. But in the world of creation, how we bring other life into the world, there is a masculine and a feminine match. Okay. And I'm talking about energy. I'm not talking about, so there has to be both masculine and feminine energy for creation. And once you recognize the feminine power summons, the masculine power pursues. But we're very good at the pursuing, but as long as we stay in an attitude of pursuing, the feminine will stay away. But if we understand that we have the power to come together to create everything, so you can summon so many things to you, it comes to you. There are things where you just walk out of your house and it will be there, but you do have to walk out. You have to take that inspired action. But action for action's sake. So to master your mindset, just to summarize, because I know I'm running out of time and I would love to talk to you guys more. I love talking about this stuff. So if you have any interest in working with me, you can of course hit me up and all that stuff. And I can give that information. But I want you to know that to summarize, you need to celebrate your wins so that you can stay in the game. Okay. That's why you're not making it to the finish line. You don't have a good race plan. You're following somebody else's plan. I don't care how much money they've made. I don't care how successful they are. It's not the plan for you. It's for you to learn from. It's not for you to model necessarily. Okay. Secondly, you need to love yourself. Your opinion of yourself is the exact reason why you don't have what you want. Anytime you feel like you're not deserving of it, you're not worthy of it, you haven't done enough, you haven't earned it. Wealth is not earned. I don't care what they say, you came in worthy. You were stamped from the moment you took your first breath. Your soul doesn't even get born or die. So the whole point is you've been worthy the whole time and you've been waiting to wait. So to earn your way into the next level. More knowledge does not mean more money. There's a lot of really knowledgeable people. More time does not mean more money. There's a lot of people who have been around a long time. More environment. I got to be around rich people. There's plenty of poor people around rich people too. Okay. So it's the combination of you looking at you in the mirror and saying, I can have whatever I want. I can have whatever I want. There's no doors closed to me. I can walk in any room, in any place, and I am welcome and I am there and I am just as valuable as anyone else in the room. And money comes to me. I'm a magnet. Money and me, we're one. And so once you recognize that and honor it and just walk as it, it has to come to you. It is the law, just like gravity. If I drop this pen, the pen falls. You know it's true. This is irrefutable. And if you don't believe me, I ask you to do one thing, test it. Just test it. Go out, talk about yourself differently. See yourself differently. Walk into spaces as if you own it. See what happens. Do it for 30 days. Attack your thoughts that tell you, you can't do that. You can't go there. No, people don't welcome you there and do things. Who says? I decide where I go and I am welcome everywhere I go. Start writing out affirmations that attack those lower level thoughts. I promise you your life will change. That's how you master your mindset. Is it a consistent action? Faith without works is dead. It's the last thing I'll leave you with. Everybody says, well, that means action, right? No, it's the mental work. That's the one you're not doing. It's the work between the fact I believe and the time between it showing up in your life. You have more faith in Amazon than you have in God. You believe that shipment's gonna come, but you don't ask for something and you are waiting and you're like, wait, I don't know. Is it gonna show up? But you don't do that. You don't call Amazon every day. Are you sure you're gonna send it? I mean, who's gonna put it on the truck? How are they gonna get it from the warehouse? I mean, how's it gonna show up at my door? I'm just not really sure. I don't know. Maybe I should order something else because maybe what I ordered is too big for me. I don't know. Can they get it to me? You don't ask any of that at Amazon. You're like, I ordered it. It's already mine. Same thing with life. Same thing with business, same thing with money, same thing with love. The rules are the same across the board. And this is the last thing, you thought that what it was to come and get the money and get the cars and get the girls and get the guys and get the whatever. All of that was there to help you discover exactly where we're started. And the whole point is the end result is the feeling that will be produced into you for you to recognize more of your awesome. So if you just do that first, you're gaming the system and then you're going to meet more of you on the other way around. Sure, you'll have more stuff, but that's just the icing. You're the cake. Okay, so that's my.
Oh my gosh, Bryn.
Mona went crazy.
Oh gosh, that was so powerful. Jesus, I have goosebumps. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Please let the community know how they could get in contact with you, please.
Yes. If you are interested in working with me, and I work with people, I have a whole program. I have several entrepreneur clients. I've been able to help a lot of my clients really get out of their own way, essentially. That's what I do, because you are already wired for success. So I'm dropping this in the chat. If you want to get on my calendar, you do a consultation call. That's the only way to work with me, because of course I want to make sure it's the right fit, it's the right match. I'm looking for people that want to get out of their own way. I do help you make more money, but my business is not to get, just like I work with a basketball player, I don't actually get on the court and start dribbling for them and give them strategy on how to win the game. I'm working with this, because this is the only thing, this and this, your heart and your mind. I'm helping you get coherence in those two places so that you can, because once those two things are locked in, the rest takes care of itself. My clients have made more money. They've been more successful as a result of working with me, but that's not my promise. My promise is I'm going to make sure that by the time you finish my program, you will be you will be introduced to who you really are, so that you can go where you've always wanted to go. So, and then of course you can follow me on Instagram. It's not on this screen, so I'll put it in the chat here. Instagram.com. I haven't been making content, I'm just going to be honest. But I've got enough up there that you can go and have some fun with. So I've got, plenty of videos for you to watch. I'm very comfortable. I do go live, so you can follow me just to at least find out when I go live. But yeah, that's right, Michelle, you know what's up. So yes, but thank you. That's how you can stay in touch with me.
Thank you so much, Bryn. Thank you. I'm going to open the floor up for any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that. If you have any questions. Oh, there you go. Okay, what's up?
All right, first of all, thank you so much for sharing. Dropping heavy bars, as Ash Cash say. What do you know David Goggins, and what are your thoughts on his philosophy?
So I don't know everything about David Goggins. I know his book. Can you tell me his book again?
Can't Hurt Me. Can't Hurt Me,
right. Yeah. So the military is interesting. And of course, there is a lot to be lauded about the Navy SEALs, and they do definitely help break you of some things, but they're still so into the masculine way of producing that I think there's a magic. It's sort of like how Gary Vee started. And then as somebody goes along, they kind of find their way to that middle ground. So Gary Vee was very much on the masculine side, and then he sort of found himself more in the middle, and you see him saying things more like different now than he used to say. So I think everybody evolves as they go through the process. So I can't speak so much on David Goggins because I haven't read his book. I'm aware of him. Of course, in the mindset space, you can't be, Stephen Kotler, Impossible, like all the different books, but I haven't read his, so I don't want to say anything negative about it. I think it is very helpful what he has gone through and what he has been able to accomplish. And I think that anything that was created by any man is helpful. It's just whether it speaks to you. So whatever, I always say, take what works from you from any piece, anybody, and leave what doesn't. So I won't speak negatively about him, but I think I just know from, if I was to make a cursory, a statement, it would be more about the military, and like the whole thing is like break the man down and discipline him. But I think that the issue with the military is that it also kind of creates a cookie cutter way of living. And that I have an issue with, because I want you to find your own voice in that. So.
Need one of those bongs, like, thank you.
You're welcome. And please challenge me. If there's anything I said that you have a challenge about, or you have a situation that you would like to ask a question about, please do. Everything is mindset, even if it's not about actual mindset. So, okay, I got this situation at work, whatever. I love a hot seat. So, oh, come on, Zachariah. That conversation is so old. Who's the best? We could sit here all day. And at the end of the day, we're going to agree to disagree. So let's just shortcut it and agree to disagree now.
Right. This is going to turn into
right.
skipping. I don't even know.
It doesn't matter. It's always going to be that, Kobe was absolutely great, but to say that he's the best, I think it's, like the advantages that he had that other people didn't have before him and before him and before him. And, the game evolves. It's sort of like saying the flying squirrel is better than the squirrel, and then the bat is better than the flying squirrel. And sure, it's an evolution, but it's like the reason why kids are better today than they were back then is because they have the advantage of the evolution of the species instead of us going, kids aren't like they used to be my day. I'm like, thank God, because it means we're evolving. So I mean, I think Kobe is definitely one of the greatest that will ever play the game. And there's yet to be the next one. Who's to say he's going to be the greatest when it's all said and done? Because life is continually evolving. So that's why I don't get into those debates. I'm like, yeah, whoever you say is the best, I'm with it. So I won't even say Jordan's the best. But for fun, we can always say, you know, LeBron's really the best, right? Because he's still playing.
I love LeBron. So I have a question. It was
Yes.
When you were mentioning about the masculine and the feminine energy,
Yes.
how they're used to therefore like creation, how they're used to create, and you said that the feminine power summons and the masculine power pursues.
Yeah.
So there was something else that you said after that, and I didn't get to write it down.
I was just saying, like, if you continually stay in an act of pursuing, then the thing that you want stays. It's sort of like when you say, I want something, right? I want, like, even when a man, like, he wants a woman, right? He wants a woman. And by the way, all human beings are both energies. This is nothing about sexuality for those of you that get concerned about stuff like that. All human beings are both energies. We're both energies, okay? So a man at some point is in his feminine, because when he is fully in his masculine, like, you know, owning whatever, he doesn't have to pursue a woman. A woman will come to him. Does that make sense? And so similarly with a woman, when a woman is fully in her power, because she's got a balance of energy, then she will also be pursued, right? And so it's like there's always going to be both energies present. And so which one are you going to be in that moment, right? And so it's just understanding that, but as long as you are saying, I want something, then it's separate than you. You're putting it on the pedestal. Once you recognize that, and this is a deeper concept, but essentially everything is happening in your inner world is like, you know, it says, asking you shall receive, pray and believing that you have, speak of things that are not as though they were. Let the weak say they are strong. There's a million quotes in the Bible. I unfortunately don't know many from other religions. I know a little bit about Buddhism. I want to learn more about the Quran, because I'm not putting anybody on a pedestal when it comes to any of that either. But the most important thing to recognize about that is it's saying, it doesn't say asking if you pray hard enough, if you're deserving. It says, ask and ye shall receive. I want it, it's done. Yes, the answer is yes, right? But we're like, but I want it, but I don't have it. Well, you can't have it until you own it inside. So once you are one with it, right? One, O-N-E, then you have won it. Then it has become yours. And then it will eventually show up out there in that old antiquated world out there. So you have to become the thing, you have to become one with the thing, and then it will. Yeah, Myron teaches out of the Bible. We have a few disagreements about some of the things that he interprets, but overall we're on the same page. Because he said, like, you know, so anyway. But yeah.
No, you ain't got to make a list. Mine's probably longer than yours.
Yeah, exactly. we got some disagreements on the way he interprets it, but he also takes it back to the old school, and that's the part I can't get with the Bible. Yeah. So
anybody else have any questions? We got a great resource here.
We got, hold on. We got somebody wrote privately in the chat. I want to know if he wants to ask this. Okay, I think he wants me to read it. Is it okay, King, if I read this out loud? Or do you want me just to answer it without reading it? Because you sent it to me privately. Okay, cool. A lot of people experience defeats and setbacks that stay with them and make them scared or gun shy to get back up and try again. How do you bounce back from major defeats and get your power mindset back to keep going? Great question, right? One is that you cannot identify with the defeat. You did not get defeated because of something wrong or ill with you. Things happen when when it says in the Bible, when I spoke as a child, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. It's not actually talking about age. You are having rebirths every time, right? There's so many evolutions of birth and death in your life, right? So before you knew a thing, you did it, and then you had an experience. And then we identify with that experience. This is, athletes and identity is such a big thing. It happens with entrepreneurs, it happens with mothers, it happens with anybody that over-identifies with something external to themselves. Like this idea of like, I'm an athlete, that's who I am. So if I can't play, I'm no longer important. I have no significance, but you were never meant to be this other external identity. You're so much more than this, right? I am more than this. So once you recognize that when you have a loss, because obviously in sports, the biggest thing is a loss, right? It's the lesson, right? It's the real lesson. It's the character. This is why it's skill over scoreboard. If I only go based on the 48 minutes, what was the total of the score? That didn't tell my whole story. I could have worked my ass off out there, right? John Wooden is famously quoted, famous UCLA coach of one of the greatest to ever play the game, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think he was Lou Alcindor for a little bit while he was there. But basically, he said that you can play your best and lose, and you can play your worst and win. So going based on the fact that life is judging you as a victory or life is judging it as a setback is not really the total story of who you are. You came for the experience, not for the end result. So one, always reps over results. So what did I learn from this? So your bounce back will be quicker once you recognize it doesn't say, it's not what happened that tells me, because here's the thing. You don't suffer, and write this down, this is important. You don't suffer the event, you suffer the story you told yourself about the event. Everything's neutral. So what happened in the game? The score said that you lost. One person is saying, I suck, I'm terrible. Somebody else is like, I've never played harder in my entire life, and I'm so proud of what happened out there tonight. Sure, we didn't get the result we wanted because, hello, everyone wants to win. Like my athletes, they'll say, I want to win. And I'm like, great, come up with something more original. Everybody wants to win. Give me something else. What is your goal in this game? What is your intention? Give me something, right? I'm going to fight. I'm going to be tenacious. I'm going to be the most, biggest leader out on the floor. I'm going to be a great ball distributor. I'm going to be this, right? So really recognizing that you're the one that decided it's a defeat that has some sort of bearing on you. But since your identity can't be hurt, harmed, or endangered, no matter what happens, if you just decide that, then there's really no need for the bounce back, because it's just like, cool, that happened. Here's the story I'm going to tell myself. I'm still pretty freaking awesome. And the thing is that just like anything, I just go back out and I learn the next thing. I take the loss, I take the lesson, and I take it for my next victory or my next outing. And no matter what, I'm going to get better because I'm only competing against the previous me, like Kevin Hart says, right? And then, Will Smith and everybody before them. Because like you can quote whoever said it, like Neo says this, and this person says this. I'm like, nothing's original under the sun. But like Neo says, you can make it your own because people are going to attribute it to you anyway. But just go out and take that, because that lesson, that L, is going to be the greatest story that you'll be able to serve your people with, right? If I didn't run that marathon and didn't have that experience, I couldn't come here and tell you that great story. So was that helpful, King Hoodie? You can type yes or no in the chat. Okay, cool. All right, anyone else? Questions, come on, y'all. I know we're over time, but if you got more questions, please ask the question. I love this. This is my favorite thing, is answering questions. Even if you're like, I'm not sure what to ask, but here's what's going on. Do that too. Sometimes you don't even need to know what to ask. What's up, Ken?
I got one.
Okay.
So I've heard before about like what people call like an alter ego.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that in the sense of like, I guess like preparation for something, whether it be like a speech or a game, like?
Yeah, so I think that they are helpful. Actually, in my course, in my program, when I'm with my clients, I do have them work on that. I believe they are helpful. One of the best stories of an alter ego is obviously outside of superheroes, right? So I'm gonna give you two examples, okay? One, I want you to know this. Kendall, come off mute again, because I feel like you and me might have some similarities in what we like. You like superheroes, man?
Well, I like to, yeah.
Okay,
like
all right.
I'm a Spider-Man.
Oh, you're a Spider-Man person. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So
So my favorite superhero is Superman. And I know that's sacrilege to the Batman people, but it's just what it is. Okay. So, but what is Superman's alter ego?
Superman's alter ego? Wouldn't it be Superman? Isn't it?
Wouldn't it? But what do they say it is?
Clark
I
Kent.
don't know. Oh,
Clark
yeah.
Clark
yeah.
Kent, right?
Yeah.
Clark Kent. Now, here's the thing. We think we're Clark Kent. Superman knows he's Superman.
That's crazy.
You understand?
Yeah.
So the alter ego is Superman. Like you said, Superman's alter ego is Clark Kent, but he's pretending to be Clark Kent. He's not pretending to be Superman. So when you want to use the example of somebody else you may all relate to is Beyonce. When Beyonce left Destiny's Child, she was having a little bit of trouble being like, well, if I don't have my girls on my right and my left, who am I, right? I mean, I'm Beyonce, I got this powerful name, but I don't know if I'm ready to stand out as Beyonce. So what was the name of her alter ego, Kendall?
It was Sasha something.
Sasha Fierce.
Sasha
exactly.
Fierce, yeah.
So she created Sasha Fierce. So sometimes when you need that, it can be helpful because you can imbue all these powers that feel separate to you. But in the world of, spirituality, I never want you to feel that you're not Sasha Fierce. But if you need to be, you need that separation to create, to endow it with what it needs to, as she used it temporarily. And then eventually she dropped Sasha Fierce because she doesn't need it anymore. And she's fully able to be Beyonce, because the thing is that it was always Beyonce, but she needed Sasha Fierce. So if you need to wear the mask or the cape for a little while to feel super, great. But Superman's still Superman, whether he's got the outfit on or not.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you're right.
So
that's
what I would say.
Yeah, that's good.
So
Thank
use what you need to get where you need to go, and then drop it once you recognize that it was you all along.
I definitely think I'm gonna tap in with that consultation with you.
Okay, cool. Looking forward to it. All right. Anyone else? I know this is your time.
I'm gonna create an alter ego.
Yeah. Great book, Alter Ego by Todd Herman. Todd Herman, he was a mental performance coach. He coaches high performance entrepreneurs and stuff like that, but he wrote a great book called Alter Ego, and he tells the Sasha Fierce story in there, and he also talks about how to create an alter ego, or you can just work in my program and we do it much faster. You don't have to read the book, but great book, great opportunity to do that. So definitely tap in with Alter Ego. It's great, and it's just so helpful for you to recognize that some people just need that, and it's okay. Like, nothing is bad if it's giving you what you want. It's when you start to feel like that's more the truth than who you really are, that's when you've gotten lost, right? And this is why you have the villain, because the villain believes the power is what is the magic. And so that's why the magic, that's what happens is when you have power unchecked and they're just like, well, I just want that. But then that hunger, that power lust can be satiated. And this is why they turn to the dark side, like one of my favorite movies of all time, which is Anakin's journey between becoming Anakin and Darth Vader. It's probably one of the greatest villain stories ever told, because you get to see like what happens in that whole process when someone goes dark. And it's all just for us. It's not really about, because we're all superheroes. There's, like, as Jesus said, and probably one of the greatest things Jesus ever said, one of the greatest superheroes, right? And he said, you will do things greater than I. How can you do things greater than Jesus if you're not equal to Jesus? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. How can you do things greater than Jesus? Jesus supposed to always be above you? Thank you, Christianity, but I don't think so. All right, anyway.
I was listening to something on social media, and there was like, Jesus could walk on water and I can only float on water. Like, how can I get to that?
Right. Well, that's the thing. And as I always tell my clients, don't write checks your faith can't cash. There was a pastor who tried to walk on water and he couldn't swim, and he's now with the angels. So don't write checks your faith can't cash. Like, some things you don't need to, like, remember, your power is never supposed to be performative. It is for the betterment of you and everyone else. So the fact that you would even think you needed to walk on water is some sort of performative thing. Like, do you really want to walk on water? No. It would be something cool to tell your friends, like, look, everybody, I can walk on water. I can turn water into wine. But I don't really care about that, right? What I really care about is being able to take no thing and turn it into something that can make my life and everyone around me's life better, right? And so, and I think that's where we got a little bit dropped. We got a little bit off pace, because we're just like, oh man, I could create so many things. And that's the villain again. Going back to, how can I do it for the sake of doing it? Because I want that power. But it's not about, you have the power. You don't need to want it. You have it. And you have the desire for more. Just put it all together and make magic, and use your gifts and talents to take you in the direction of being able to lead your flock to where they need to go, right? I don't have a desire to have a group called 7 Ways to Wealth. I don't have a desire to have Turo as my empire. I don't have a desire to be in the engineering trade, but there is somebody that really hungers for that. And so that's where they're supposed to go with their magic. This is where I'm supposed to go with my magic.
Thank you so much, Bryn. We really appreciate you pouring into the community. Oh my gosh, like, I have the biggest smile on my face. Like, you just uplifted my whole soul, my spirit. everything. And I know that you did it for the community too. They are so grateful. Thank you so much. So go ahead and follow Bryn on Instagram. And I am going to send you guys, I'm going to text you the link to her calendar so that you could book a call with her. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And don't forget about us. Come back soon, okay?
Anytime, just invite me and I'll come. I've got more. I can talk about this for hours.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Be blessed.
Bye, y'all.